getting some homeschooling done and I'm filling some tangibly Southern orders. But yesterday I had to make some sandwich bread, and so I want to show you how I did that. So one of the beauties of making your own bread, if you grab a bag of store-bought bread, you're gonna see oodles and oodles of ingredients that you will not find in your own kitchen. But homemade bread, very simple, very few ingredients, so you know it's better for you. So what I like to use for oil is an extra light tasting olive oil. You can certainly use vegetable oil, canola oil, whatever it is that you have on hand, but this is just my preferred. Olive oil is better for you, and this is extra light, so there's not really a flavor. You need your all-purpose flour. You're gonna need some yeast, which I buy mine in bulk. That's from an Amish market. You need salt, and you need sugar or honey. And today I'm going to be making mine in a stand mixer. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do in our stand mixer bowl is we are going to put 2 cups of warm water. I've already got the first cup in there. That was the second cup. The next thing I'm going to add is going to be 4 tablespoons of sugar. Okay, I just poured in my 4 tablespoons, which is actually 1/4 of a cup of just white granulated sugar. And I'm now going to use my wooden spoon, and I'm going to stir it until it's dissolved. Okay, and now I'm going to sprinkle over the top 4 teaspoons of yeast. Am I the only one that thinks that yeast smells really good? Okay, so I'm just gonna let that hang out untouched while I get my oil measured out, and I'll be right back. Okay, it's been less than a minute, and you can already start to see that the yeast is starting to, sorry, you see my shadow? The yeast is starting to create their little bubbles. I love it, it's so cool. Okay, so now to this I'm going to add my 1/2 cup of extra light tasting olive oil. And now we're going to add 2.5 teaspoons of salt. I'm gonna have the recipe linked to my blog, so you can just go over there and print it off for your convenience. Okay, so I've got my oil added, I've got my salt added. I'm just gonna give this a little stir. And then I'm going to start adding my flour. And you're gonna need about 6 cups of all-purpose flour. And I'm trying to do this one-handed. Our tripod is busted, so please forgive me for shakiness. And but I will say that I did say 6 cups, right? Once I get this dough hook going, I'm going to watch. That's 2. Because sometimes, depending on the humidity, there's 3. Sometimes I have to add a little bit more flour. I've never needed to add more liquid. But I have sometimes needed to add, that's 4 more flour. And you kind of want to shake your cup so it's not compacted. 5. And 6. All right. So before I start putting everything up, I'm gonna get this mixer going, let the liquid and the oil and everything combined, and then see if I need to add anything. So I'm just gonna lock the stand mixer in place. I'm gonna turn it on low first, then let everything combine and see if I need to add more flour. I think I might need more flour. I just want to show you something really quickly. You can see that the dough is starting to smooth out a little bit. It's not as lumpy as it was, but it's still very sticky. It should not do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit more flour. You really want it to come away from the sides. If it's still a little sticky in the bottom, I don't mind it too much, just because, you know, I'm going to take it out and give it a good knead before I put it in the bowl to rise. I think that's about 1/4 of a cup right there. So I don't mind it to be a little sticky, but this is way too sticky. Now the dough is coming away from the bowl. I'm going to set the timer for 8 minutes and let it knead. My timer has gone off. I've turned my machine off. You can see it's still a little on the sticky side. Oops. Well, can't pull it down without it doing that. But that's okay, because I'm going to kind of knead it a little bit first anyway. Okay, I'm hoping you can see this. Since our tripod is not working, I'm having to make the best of my situation here. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna scrape my dough out of my bowl. I have a well-oiled glass bowl on standby to put the dough in to rise. So as you can see, my dough is really still kind of sticky. So what I'm wanting to do is just incorporate a little bit more flour in there till I get the texture that I'm looking for. So yeah, it doesn't take much at all. You just kind of, the longer you make bread, you get to a point where you just know the feel of a happy dough. So my dough is ready to go in the bowl. Now I'm just gathering it up. And again, it's just a really pretty smooth dough. And I'm putting it in a well-oiled bowl. Okay. And I've got it in there, and now I'm going to turn it back over. So that way there's oil on the top and the bottom of of it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it in plastic wrap. Covering this in plastic wrap, and I'm gonna set it by my crock pot since I have my crock pot on. Here's what it looks like right now. When the dough has filled the bowl, it'll be ready to punch down and shape into loaves. So right now I've just got it by my crock pot. I've got some chicken going in there. Okay, I wanted to show you really quick while I'm waiting for the dough to rise. I went ahead and got two, you can see these are well loved, of my bread pans, and I just lightly oiled them with some of the extra light tasting olive oil. Okay, there it is. It has been an hour and a half. But as you can see, she is ready. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the dough out of the bowl and onto my well-floured surface. Okay, so this is actually still pretty loose, but it's very warm for where I had it sitting next to the crock pot. So now what we're gonna do is I am going to cut this in half. Okay. Some people get really fancy and weigh it out, but I'm not a fancy kind of girl. Okay, a little bit more. And I don't want to knead this, I just am going to shape it. And just trying to get it to be about the length of my bread pan. And I've already got my bread pans greased with the same olive oil that I used to put in the bread. So go. Okay, all right, so now I'm just going to cover these with plastic wrap, set them next to the crock pot again, and wait until they come up to the top of the pan. Okay, as you can see, the dough is to almost the top of the pan, so now this is going to go in the oven at 350 for about 20 minutes or until I smell it. Oh yeah. Okay, so that's them. I took them out of the oven, I turned them out and put them on a cooling rack, and then just smeared butter all over the top to seal that crust in. We will wait and cut into them after they've cooled. There's a Lego over there on the counter. But if you have any comments or questions, please be sure to put them in the comment section below. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so you can keep up with everything that we do around here. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest, so be sure to follow me on all of those. And until next time.